Archaeological circles are stunned by a leak from Veracruz research facility. Pattern recognition code, surpassing human attempts, has cracked the Memic language code. This discovery, unlike the Rosetta Stone, heralds something quite different. The translations reveal cosmic patterns, resource maps, and such extraterrestrial logic systems that they're giving rise to unnerving questions. What entities were actually behind these communications? If the Olmec code speaks with non-human logic, then why do their symbols echo across continents and civilizations? Were these carvings just art or messages stitched into human history? The secret in the machine. Historical records indicate that the initial civilization of Mesoamerica, known as the Olmec culture, existed before the rise of the more widely recognized Maya and Aztec empires. The legacy they left behind is characterized by monumental Colossus stone sculptures and enigmatic artifacts, including peculiar handbags that exhibit remarkably similar features to those depicted in ancient Sumerian paintings. Intriguingly, these similarities can also be observed on pillars located at Göbekli Tepe, which is situated miles away from the Olmec's original homeland. For many years, scholars found themselves perplexed by the symbolic inscriptions that had been meticulously left behind by this long-gone civilization. Initially, most experts assumed that these symbols were simply ornamental decorations with no significant meaning. However, subsequent discoveries revealed that this assumption was entirely incorrect. Presently, something truly remarkable is unfolding, all happening away from the glare of media scrutiny. In clandestine meetings taking place at a university located in Veracruz, Mexico, a dedicated team of researchers has been diligently feeding Olmec symbols into a pioneering artificial intelligence program. This state-of-the-art software surpasses the capabilities of a mere calculating machine. Instead, it functions as a hybrid quantum system that integrates advanced pattern recognition techniques with sophisticated language systems that have been meticulously trained on thousands of ancient Mesoamerican patterns. Unlike conventional translation software, this technology establishes meaningful connections between ancient symbols and various natural phenomena, such as celestial events, agricultural cycles, and cosmic mappings. What began as a modest academic project unexpectedly evolved when the machine started producing erratic and surprising results. Rather than being disseminated through traditional academic publishing channels, the initial findings were shared via coded communications on various academic websites. The artificial intelligence had unearthed something extraordinary. Rather than merely identifying random patterns, it revealed a systematic, intentional process underlying the carvings. As the group read the data more intensively, it felt more and more a sickening sense of foreboding. They were reading words from 3,000 years ago, but the voice that addressed them through these artifacts was unmistakably non-human in timbre. The first major breakthrough was so striking that it was worth rewriting classical works from scratch. The AI could identify recurrent glyph sequences that corresponded with exceptional accuracy to the Venus synodic cycle. These marks traced what scientists called a sun serpent, which opens the Earth 523 times, an exact equivalent of the astronomical phenomenon that would become the focus of Maya astronomy. This one find alone was proof categorically that the Olmec civilization had sophisticated astronomical tracking systems centuries before they were thought to have existed, possibly even a millennium before anyone suspected. But this finding was only the tip of the iceberg. A second grouping of symbols, previously assumed to be purely decorative, turned out to be an incredibly sophisticated calendar system. The ARI's conclusion demonstrated that it was able to observe not just solstices but lunar eclipses too, with precision that would have been staggering even in the modern age. This was not just an astronomical observation. It was a sophisticated astronomical record. The Olmecs were not merely artists, they were scientists who recorded cosmic patterns, timekeeping secrets, and probably even myths that had been transmitted to their generation in their artwork. But just when researchers thought they'd uncovered the Olmec's genius in tracking stars and time, the symbols twisted darker. What if they weren't just scientists but engineers of life itself? The genetic code of the gods. The results provided a fascinating twist when the AI identified a definite coiled spiral sign. This same sign appeared repeatedly with what scientists cautiously referred to as energy maps or offering tables. This system, while far more sophisticated than mere stellar observation, appeared to be tracking resources, perhaps water resources, mineral resources, or even the flow of some unknown natural energy through the Olmec area. The identical spiral symbol appeared at other Olmec sites at vast distances, showing that they had an advanced standardized language much larger than anybody could possibly have imagined. This was not only a system of knowledge but also a science notation for creating their world. But astronomical observations and maps of resources only marked the beginning of their discoveries. The AI was quick to identify symbols that had no relation to celestial bodies or earthly events but were immediately linked to the control of life itself. This is where the tale started to turn from intellectually fascinating to extremely unsettling. Among thousands of symbols that had been analyzed, one stood out among the research team and shook their ranks. It was a spiral design, but not one they were familiar with. The algorithm always identified it as pointing towards a double helix structure. While it was unimaginable that the Olmecs could have known DNA 3,000 years ago, the symbol appeared time and again in their writings. Surprisingly, the AI traced the occurrence of the symbol in hundreds of artifacts, where it always appeared in fertility, growth, and what appeared to be agricultural lineage tracing purposes. The evidence suggested that the Olmecs were following the trends in plant biological inheritance. In a recently leaked top-secret document, yet another unknown researcher expressed significant concerns, stating, "The statistical consistency is hard to ignore. The spiral appears with quantitative identifiers that appear to track generational shifts, as if they were charting selective breeding schemes. They weren't merely cultivating food, they were actually engineering it." Following this revelation, another intriguing symbol came to light: the stepped triangle encased within a circle. Analyzing the data, the AI produced a heat map that uncovered a staggering correlation. This particular symbol emerged with astonishing frequency in areas surrounding basalt quarries, which are precisely the locations from where the Olmecs sourced the stone necessary for constructing their immense heads. More specifically, this correlation was found to be particularly strong with sites that exhibited unique thermal properties, such as natural hot springs or regions influenced by volcanic activity. The implications stemming from this evidence were nothing short of extraordinary. It suggested that the Olmecs might have had knowledge of, and were possibly utilizing, advanced thermal engineering techniques, even going so far as to employ this technology in order to extract and transport their monumental stone structures. This groundbreaking discovery transcended mere intuition or mythologizing. Instead, the AI unveiled a systematic approach grounded in cold, hard realities that encompassed genetic manipulation, thermal engineering, and even principles of astronomy. Such revelations became the foundation upon which numerous conspiracy theories surrounding the project were constructed. This level of advancement seemed too sophisticated, too alien in nature. It prompted one to contemplate the peculiar pocketbooks that closely resembled those carried by individuals in the ancient Sumerian society. In light of these discoveries, there is now discussion about the potential cancellation of the entire project.